Well, it's the brightest one yet. Yeah, it's it's a T-shirt. Yeah, just recently got it today. Original heritage, and look, there's a bright bit of yellow for Mr. Eddie Jordan. Yeah, I said I'd try and be a bit more jazzy this week, and obviously to myself, and I thought, well, there we go, and it sort of it called to me. It said, "Be like Eddie Jordan." Well, enough of that shit. But sorry for the language. Right, yes, 10% of the Formula 1 season down, another 90 to go. Ooh. It's getting a bit feisty round there, isn't it, these days? Right, yes, question one, a very, very good point. We're going to see the top teams. I think McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari, most notably, I think it's going to be... McLaren are going to do I think probably a smooth transition, try and understand why the tyres didn't work in Malaysia, obviously with the MP427 struggling with the wets and the intermediates, and obviously Jensen shouting down the radio, "I've got no grip, I've got no grip." It's been a while since we heard that one. I think Red Bull will be the ones doing the most developing, because obviously with Adrian Newey, they have got a lot on their plate. They've really, really got to step up their game. Great race pace for the Red Bulls, I have to say. I mean, especially with Mark Webber out qualifying and out racing in Malaysia his teammate, who obviously isn't having the best of times at the moment. His little flipping the bird to Narain and calling him a gherkin, I think it was, which was the official translation, not a cucumber. A little bit of a difference. Well, there's a little difference in the fact that gherkin's a lot smaller. I think we'll find that a lot of the midfield and I think Lotus will be probably quite consistent, I think, in their development, a bit like McLaren, because they've got a very fast car there. So it really does remain to be seen. I mean, the midfield and the lower echelon of the teams, we're going to find that they're going to be probably a bit more competitive by the European stage of things. Yes, there's been a lot of motorsport on this week. Obviously, I mean, apart from F1, I watch pretty much anything that's action-packed. This includes the World Rally Championship, MotoGP, World Superbikes, British Touring Cars, and IndyCar as well, because I've got to follow Mr. Rubens Barrichello. I mean, I've been watching F1 for longer than he's actually raced in open wheel, that we've known him since 1991. I think really, with regards to obviously how I've been watching things, I mean, British Touring Cars, IndyCar, I've been watching on this. The World Superbikes, however, I've been watching on British Eurosport. MotoGP kicks off this weekend, as well as British Superbikes. Why do I watch them? Well, as I'm the editor of Not Just Alex's View, I love motorsports in general. It doesn't matter to me if it's 2 or 4 wheels. Anything that's high speed, high action, high octane is up my street, as you very well know by the decree of Not Just Alex's View. So anything that's burning rubber, burning fuel, high speed, high adrenaline, high octane, yes, I'm there. Yeah, the crazy Chinese Grand Prix. I have to say, credit to Grace for coming up with these sort of like little, a little bit of alliteration. So credit to Grace for doing this as always. I'm going to try and have a look at the Sky coverage. No, not Sky. What am I talking about? I've been watching Sky the last 2 races. I really want to see how the team gets on. Obviously, because we've got EJ, DC, Jake, Lee, Gary Anderson, and obviously we've got Ben Edwards. He's always been a fantastic commentator. I mean, he was brilliant with Tim Harvey in the British Touring Cars, and obviously with David Coulthard. That Tim. I mean, the thing is that the electricity between Tim and Ben was fantastic, and now because obviously Ben is actually an ex-racer. Mechanic, so he is a lot more knowledgeable than say David Croft, and that clearly shows. I mean, the thing is that David Croft does make errors. Yes, he's been doing Radio 5 Live for the past however many years and did ITV a couple of times as well. But let's not forget that Ben is, I mean, when I watched the Sky coverage, out of the two, Martin Brundle was the clearest, most, switched on person. Crofty, I think, just got a bit ahead of himself. Yes, it's a big switch from radio to TV, I understand that. But you've got to make sure that you're doing it right. And that was another point that I have to make against the World Superbike commentators who thought John Hopper Hopkins had crashed out, and it was Chaz Davis who was took out by Silvio Gintoni. And you know what they blamed? They blamed the Monster Energy liveried helmets. You can't do that. You've got to recognise your mistakes. I'm sure Crofty's probably had a few words told to him about that. I think really, if people are given the choice, I think the BBC might be the one to watch. But you can't really... If people are starting to settle in with Sky's coverage, and I have to say yes, it was a double header. Yes, Simon Lazenby was a bit reticent when it came to sort of trying to interview Kimi after Australia. Or was it Malaysia? I can't remember which one. But he ducked out of the interview and someone else did it. So it'll be interesting to see how BBC's coverage has changed in a live situation, not a highlight situation, a live situation, because I want to see the F1 fan forum. And I think that's really what makes the difference between the BBC and Sky, is you have that fan interactivity, and they get the drivers, they get Eddie Jordan to go out and fetch people. Or he just runs in and grabs them, So I'll be watching the BBC. I don't know about you guys out there. Foodstuffs relating to Formula 1 drivers. This is actually quite an interesting choice. Choice of driver, Jensen. And this foodstuff, I think, sort of relates to his racing performance. Japanese rice noodles. Now you're gonna think, what the hell is Alex on? Nothing. I'm not on any drugs, any medication, apart from my cholesterol tablets. But there we go. Well, the main reason is that Jensen's a bit like, if you said kitchen utensils or cleaning utensils, I could definitely say yes. It's like a household sponge, soaks everything up. Japanese rice noodles is the same parallel from a foodstuff perspective, in the fact that, in a stir fry you have your rice noodles, you have your meat, you have your vegetables, you then have your sauce, or choice of sauce. And the good thing about the rice noodles is it absorbs all the flavour. So you get lots of flavour packed in. And that's how I just would describe Jensen's driving style, because since Brawn, and obviously going to McLaren, he is adjusting, he's absorbing things in, he's like a sponge. So hence the term Japanese rice noodles. So that's really my submission for the FanFormula for today, which is quite close to the deadline. 20-8 on Tuesday the 3rd of April. So obviously you'll see me next week. I might wear this again, I don't know. Or it could be just a completely different shirt. I mean, I've had so much going on, guys, it's just been ridiculous, but there we go. Anyhow, I'll see you next week.